What's up? Good morning, everybody. We are live here at Shred Studios. I love the Shred Studios.
I do like that.
It's good to be back in town, well, for at least a couple of days, and then Jason and I are off again. But we are very excited to be announcing something we've been talking about for a while now. It's a huge, I just saw the announcement on Jason's, but we have a huge announcement for everybody. It's something that we've got a lot of questions about. And this morning, we actually get to roll it out. So let's jump right into it. First and foremost, if you are joining us live, if you're joining us on LinkedIn, if you're joining us on Facebook, if you're joining us on YouTube, please comment #Shred. That means you're live, you're hanging out with us. If you're joining us on the replay, make sure you comment #Hustle because you're out there hustling. But we really do. Jason and I, one of the things as we've traveled the country, a lot of people have started to understand and start to know what we actually do here at Shred and our air advisory that we work with large companies. And that's just been the thing is we work with these really large companies, and we've had so many people ask us like, hey, how do you help the individual LO? How do you help the individual real estate agent? How do you help just me? I'm an insurance agent. How do you help me? So we're excited to be announcing our Shred AI Mastermind today. And I think this is one of those things for me and Jason that I will say this, things have evolved with Jason and I. Think it's been amazing from when we really founded Shred beginning of this year and how it's evolved over the last few months and now today. And it's all because of you guys. It's what you've asked for. It's what you've wanted, what so many people have been requesting. And here's the thing. We're going to get into what Shred AI actually is. And I want to make this very clear. Jason and I are not coaching. We're not going into the coaching realm. We're not becoming coaches. We really aren't interested in that right now. What we are interested in is all of you individually and something that we have traveled. I mean, Gary Vaynerchuk really said it on Saturday when we were listening to him. You have to become a media company yourself. You have to become this brand. And Jason and I are going to help with that. Jason, what are you excited about with this? Because we haven't even gotten into the details, but I'm freaking pumped as it is.
I'm excited that you're excited.
Yes.
Yes.
Jason never gets excited as I am. I'm always excited.
Always excited. No, I'm excited about this because for those of you who don't know, what we do as Shred, and as Josh said, it's evolved quite a bit over since April and May when we really started growing Shred. And so we have a consultancy, some of you may or may not know, and that consultancy, we call that our Shred Air Advisory, and AIR stands for attention, impact, and relevance. And really what that is basically our framework on what we help our clients with. And as some of you know, the clients that we work with within the industry. And so, which actually was kind of cool because at AIM, we realized that out of the top 4 lenders, 3 of them are our clients. So that's actually pretty cool. But anyways, just sorry, like silent, humble brag nod there. But that's how because I got this and people came up to us because we were just at AIM Fuse and they're like, how do you make money? Like,
oh my gosh, that's like the number one question.
And so we have a consultancy and that's where we make money. But that's good for us because one is that, when we talk about partnerships or affiliates, we don't monetize that way. We don't monetize the way that everyone else monetizes. And again, I'm not throwing stones at other people's business models, but to us, it's a benefit to us because when we talk about someone, we recommend someone, everyone can be comforted knowing that we're not trying to monetize that. We're just doing it because that's who we think is the best. And that's who we think that you should work with. And that's how they're going to grow your business. So, for those of you that don't know, when I left the mortgage company last year, I started, my own, what I called marketing and coaching and training, which was called the Agent Marketer. I started that with Chelsea Pites. And so over that, I learned a lot from that over the last year and how that went. And so when, Josh asked me to join him at Shred and building this up, I kind of stopped what I was doing with the Agent Marketer and brought that into Shred because I knew eventually we would revamp and do something with that. So, kind of going off of what Josh was saying, we got a ton of questions at Fuse about we know you work with bigger lenders and bigger clients. How can you help us? How can we learn from you? And the beauty of it is as we were watching Matt Ishbia talk, as we were watching Gary Vaynerchuk do his keynote, everything that they talked about was basically validating what Josh and I have been building since April of this year. And Josh,
100%.
even before that, when he founded Shred. So everything that we're trying to do was validated at Fuse. And the questions, not just what the speakers were talking about, but the questions by the audiences were like, the question we hear is like, how do I get started? I understand I need to do this, but how do I get started? I need someone to hold my hand through this. I get calls, I get calls from, loan officers, real estate agents. I just dropped $3,500 on this. I just dropped 3,000, $2,500 to 2,000 on this and that. I'm not doing with it. So this is the problem. So what we decided is, instead of doing what everyone else is doing in the industry, and that's creating a coaching group or a group based off of like doing Facebook ads or text scripts or all these other like me lead, how do I get business? What we think has been missing and was validated this weekend is about attention, impact, and relevance. So what we did is with Shred AI Mastermind, and the AI in this for the mastermind is an intention and influence. That's what AI stands for. And what this is really is the first digital relevance system. And that's what we're calling it, because it's one thing to go out and do lead gen, right? It's one thing to go out and get ads and Instagram and all other stuff. All that's great. All of that is important, but you got to have a foundation on relevance. What does that mean? Your brand. You got to do all of these little small things first. And it's confusing. You don't know where to start. And that's, again, something that was validated this weekend. And so that's what this system is. It's a digital relevance system, because you need to be digitally relevant. You just have to be. You have to, talk about have something like a flash briefing, or understand voice, understand landing pages, understand messaging, understand copy, understand visual design, having a website, blog, curating content, all these things that we're doing, and amplify, and multiply your reach with what you're doing. Understand what you're looking at when you're actually doing a marketing campaign. Now, the beauty of this is that we get to take everything that we're teaching them or teaching you, and actually, and then have partners that we have that we don't have affiliate relationships to. And because most of you, at the end of the day, look, we understand, like, some of you are going to want to do this yourself, and some of you are going to want to pay someone to do it for you. So for those services that we've decided to partner with, where you decide to maybe, let's say, go use something for a website, or get help with lead conversion or whatever it is, what we do is we then show you how the best way to succeed using those services. So it's like, hey, if I'm going to use a certain website provider, and then that website provider has a blog, we're going to talk about blogging. How do you start a blog? How do you, capture attention? What does a lead magnet look like? What does a tripwire look like? All these marketing terms that you've probably never heard before, you heard or don't understand, but we're going to do it in bite-sized ways so you truly understand what we're talking about, how to do. So that way, if you do use a service, you just don't take what they give you as like a template. Is like, understand what you're looking at. So like, for example, so what we decided to do is take one of the courses, or what we're calling action plans, taking one of the action plans out of the mastermind, and we actually launched it today in our online network called the Community. And you could actually go there and see that. And if you're not part of the community, the best way to do it is to join our Facebook group, the Shred AI Facebook group. Join there, and that is basically our gateway, our gatekeeper to the community, because we want to make sure that the community only has people from within the industry, and we don't want people in there selling their stuff or anything like that. It's a very close-knit group right now. I think we're at 200 or close to 200 members already. But go to the Shred AI Facebook, and it doesn't cost anything, and go there, join the community through our Facebook group. And then what you could do is go to, and those that are on the community right now, go to the Shred U section on the community. And the community is a mobile app, plus it's web browser based. Go to Shred U, and you will see the landing page blueprint. And what that does is take you from A to Z on understanding what a landing page should do, how it should look, things to avoid, how to have the best success. Is if you're going to actually spend the money to generate leads, spend the money to drive traffic from a referral source to your landing page, you want to convert. So we take you through the blueprint that's not just taken from what other people are doing in the mortgage industry. Josh and I have said this a million times. We learn from what other people are doing to crush it in all different verticals in all different markets. Because guess what? It doesn't matter that we're in real estate or mortgage. The consumer is still the same. The consumer visually, the message, and everything else that we're doing matters. So we have that, the landing page blueprint that's free now. You could check it out just to get an idea of what the Shred AI Mastermind is going to be about.
And there's so much more to come. This is just the beginning. So what I want to tell you is what the Shred AI Mastermind is not. Now, there's a lot of people, and Gary Vaynerchuk talked about this on Saturday at the event, is our industry in particular, they want all these done for you systems. They want, just give me this. I just want it done for me, done for me. This is not that. When it comes to building a brand, when it comes to building attention, and guys, attention is the new currency. I talk about that a lot right now because it truly is. You have to have attention, whether that's nationally, probably not, because most of you are it's the local mortgage and real estate expert that we're focused on. You have to have attention in your local market to grow your influence, which influence, people hear influencers, and that's a term that's kind of overly used right now, but you have to have influence. Influence is how you impact the lives of those around you. The influence you have, that's all about relationships. So that's why we call Shred attention and influence, because you have to have the attention, you have to create influence. But what this is not, if you're expecting to come into the community, coming into Shred AI, into our mastermind group, and just expecting something done for you, that's not what this is. Now, we are going to show you, we're going to walk you through, like Jason said, this is just the beginning. This is just one of our first trainings, our action plans that we're releasing. We're going to have a whole bunch. We're going to show you, the number one question we could ask is, how did you guys do it? How did you guys build a brand? How did you do it so quickly? We're going to show you. That's what we want to, and we're going to give it to you guys in a way that's never been done before in the industry. And again, we're not calling ourselves coaches. We're not, and this is not a bash on coaches either. We have great respect for all of you coaches out there, but there's plenty of them out there right now. That's just it. There's plenty of coaches charging, a lot of money to be part of their masterminds and their groups. We don't want that. We really want people who want to get into our community and they want to actually take action. That's why we're calling them action plans, implementing these things. And this isn't a get rich quick. This isn't I'm going to close 10 more deals by the end of the month. This is, hey, this is going to take 6 months, 8 months to really start building a brand. But if you do it, and if you heard Gary Vaynerchuk, and we're going to release some footage of him, he talks about this, that it takes time. It took him 2 years before anybody started watching his video. We had a guy at the event who talked about his story that it took him 6 months where he didn't get a single deal from what he did in the mortgage industry. And then after that 6 months, that was kind of the snowball effect. He saw his business after month 6, month 8, I think 9, he said, his business had doubled from what it was 6 months ago. So that's what we're going to be teaching you in Shred AI, is these tactics. We're not going to be talking about high level stuff. We're going to show you exactly what it is you need to be doing in your business to create attention and really create influence.
Yeah, and just to go off the guy that talked to Gary Vee and asked that question was actually, he came up to me. So he actually was at Agent 2021, and he came up to me at AMFuse and said, "Hey, I listened to you speak. I started doing that stuff." And he was the one that just has been crushing business, and that was in January. And so we here in October. So for, I think he would say, about 6 months after Agent 2021, he started doing an amazing amount of business, all using what we talk about every single day. And that's the thing. So just to give you guys an idea of what the mastermind is going to include, it's going to include like how to start a podcast, A to Z, the services to use, how to do them, how to set them up, flash briefings, curating content, how to even run it. That's the thing, is all these people are paying for like Facebook ads and how to do all that stuff. They don't even know how to get to the Facebook ads manager. No. So we're going to actually just say, like, this is how you run a Facebook ad. This is what it looks like. We're not going to try to do like the super advanced stuff. Now, eventually we will do like more of advanced level stuff, but what we're hearing is that people just want to know where to start and how to do simple things. And so we're going to talk about building awareness, creating influence of your brand, how to win local. So this is really what we're going to focus on in the AI Mastermind. That's why we're calling it digital relevance, because all of these things play together. Because at the end of the day, if the consumer doesn't know about you, you don't exist, right? You could be the best loan officer, the best real estate agent. It does not matter if the consumer doesn't know about you or your brand. So we're going to teach you how to do, to actually build your list. And that's another thing. You don't have this is something that Josh and I are big believers in from Russell Brunson, but you don't have a business until you have a database, until you have a list. And so we're going to teach you how to list build. We're going to teach you how to do things that you will never hear anywhere else because it's not done in this industry. And so that's, again, what we're focusing on the mastermind. And going back to what I was saying is that we have, because we have our consultancy, because we make our money as consultants and advisors and other things that we do, this doesn't need to be our core business. We don't need to break the bank charging for something like this. So for everything that we're talking about, it's going to be under $50. It's not going to, it's not, and this is where we always get in the conversation. You should be charging more, or the perceived value. And I've even seen that working with some people, and I've seen them move CRMs from one to another because the CRM that they move to is like $400 a month more expensive because, well, it's more expensive, so it must mean more value. That's not what we're talking about here, right? Like, the value is there. It's just, we don't need it's not our core business. Like, we don't need it to survive. So we want to give it to you at a reasonable price. And we're not locking in anything. We're not doing anything, upselling or anything else. It's just what it is. Now, on top of that, and this is for people that want the more advanced help, it's something that I did in the Agent Marketer, and we called it the Agent Marketer Elite, is that we're going to create a mastermind accelerator group, and it's going to be limited to 100 people. And what that is for the people that want like monthly calls and help and actual, some mastermind calls and a little bit of that in there. Then we're going to have an accelerator group, and that will be slightly more expensive. But again, this isn't our core business. No. We don't need to do this. But one of the core principles of Shred is to champion the local expert. And so we want to help you guys grow. We want to help you guys win local. That's all we're about at Shred. And that's what we heard at AIM is like, how do I get started on this? How do I use LinkedIn? How do I do this? Just the simple things. Because look, Josh and I, when we started, we didn't start at the top of marketing. We didn't start at the top of influence. We started at the bottom. We had to build up. So everything that Josh and I did to build our personal brands to get success, Josh as an originator, me as a mortgage executive, which also related, and this is what a lot of people don't know, is that when I started building my personal brand, I started as a real estate CIO. At the time, I was the chief information officer for Mason McDuffie Mortgage. And so I started as a real estate CIO. What I tell people is from 2016 to the end of 2017, till the end of 2017. I keep missing my years because it doesn't seem like so long ago.
Crazy.
Because I left in mid 2018, but from basically and my catalyst for that was Gary Vee, actually. So when I started building my personal brand to the end of 2017, so let's say about 18 months, maybe 19 months, I was contacted by a lot of agents, by people who thought I was a loan officer, people who thought I was a real estate agent. So I basically gave away about $5 million in deals. Had I been a licensed loan officer or a licensed real estate agent, I could have got some of that money. And I wasn't out there doing what people said that you have to do, as far as like, you have to market this way, you have to market that way as a loan officer. I got a deal referred to me by an agent, or I got someone that was looking for a home loan. I referred it out to my loan officers, or I referred it out to my real estate agents. And all of you in my network that have been on the receiving of these deals know what I'm talking about. Yep. And that's what that's the thing, is that you guys are going to learn and forget. So like, take me out of the equation. Then you got Josh, who was, who is a mortgage broker and, did a lot of production and top producer doing these things, being on social media, doing these marketing, building a personal brand. And this is absolutely work. So we're going to use the Shred AI Mastermind to teach us. And I'm going to use what I learned, the mistakes I made in the Agent Marketer. And so for those of you that are still part of the Agent Marketer, this is going to be a whole revamp of everything that we're doing, but now we're going to do it in a different way that's going to be successful for your business.
And here's the thing, guys, everything that Jason just said, and Jason said, guys, this is not going to be just a free thing. And many of you are saying like, oh, there we go. Finally, Shred Media's here. They're pitching their product finally. Guys, let me tell you something. If we really want to pitch a product, we want to make crazy money, we could be affiliates. We're not shilling other people's products. No. We have had so many people ask us for this, and the reason we're charging for it is because if it's free, you don't implement. We see it in the industry. It plagues our industry. Is people will give out a free product, or companies will pay for something that you're using, a CRM, whatever, and implementation is horrible. Again, we don't want the free riders in this group. We want the people who are willing to invest in themselves. And like I said, or Jason said, it's going to be under $50. And if you want to be part of the mastermind, like actually with this top elite, these 100 people, it's going to be under $100. Like, you can't beat that, ladies and gentlemen. Like we've seen all the different coaching programs. And again, no knock to coaches. Like, I'm not knocking anybody. There is a time for a coach, but right now, as we're teaching you these things, this is the beginning. This is how you build a brand. This is how you create attention and influence. And that's what we're going to show you. And that's why we're so excited about this. But again, This is our pre-launch. We are officially launching on November 1st. So we're opening it up. If you want to be part of it, you've got to go to community.shredmedia.com. Dallas, I've seen her post our link below in the Shred Media group. We'll make sure we post it in all this. But guys, you absolutely have to join. It's gonna, especially if you're interested in our elite group. Go to the community.shredmedia.com, and as there's questions, you can't just join. Like, you actually have to. We qualify people to get into our community.
Yep.
Put elite. We want to know that you're interested in that group. And if you're already part of the mastermind, or if you're already in the community, send us a message, say elite. I'm interested in this. Like Jason said, we're going to cap it at 100 people. Like, we don't want this. We really want to focus on those who are really interested in gaining knowledge, not only from us, but from the entire community. So do it right now. Guys, this is an absolute, we're so excited for this. And if you've seen, Jason and I have continued to give out free content. We're going to give out free content. But in this group, if you've watched us over the last couple of years, what Jason and I have done with our brands, we continue to give away insane amounts of content. So just imagine what we're going to be giving you inside of our group that we're like, hey, let's really give them something. Like, let's really show them what we've done to build our brands, to get attention, create influence. So it's going to be a ton of fun. We're going to show you guys exactly what we've done to get where we're at. And again, many of you think, well, I don't want to be this huge influencer. Ladies and gentlemen, you do want to be an influencer in your community.
Yep.
That's what you want. We're going to teach you how to be, and many of you are thinking like, I don't want to be a national speaker. I don't want to travel like Josh and Jason do. We're not expecting you to do that. We actually, unless you want that, most of you are just wanting to dominate your local space.
Yep.
That's what we're going to teach you. That's what you need to know. Or your Zillows, your Quickens, these big companies, these huge conglomerates are going to take us over. We're going to teach you what you need to do to compete with these companies on a local level and absolutely dominate the competition. So with that, do you have anything else? I know we've got like 5 minutes and we got to jump on another podcast. So yeah, it's always fun.
No, I mean, I think what for those of you also that are not part of the community, like what we do every month, and I think we're almost halfway through, right around the 15th or whatever it is. But like, so we create free content for you guys to use, and it doesn't cost anything, whether you're part of the mastermind or not. Is that we put it in the community, we put a Dropbox, and each month we put in 30 pieces of content that you could use to actually post, and then we put trending posts that have nothing to do with real estate and mortgage. And this is where we go out and look to see what's being shared. We use our services and our systems that we pay hundreds of dollars for that you don't have to pay for. But then we take that information and then we give you, like, I just recently put in the top search terms for mortgage so that you guys could create content based off of those terms around that. And you guys, that's stuff we pay for and you get it for free. And again, so we do all of that because we want to provide value in the community. Yes, we're going to have the AI Mastermind. That is going to be a paid thing, but we give a ton away free content. So even if you don't join the AI Mastermind, if you're part of the community, you're going to get a ton of free marketing tips, advice, tutorials. We have guest speakers. We have everything because at the end of the day, we want you guys to win and we want you guys to succeed.
That's really, Jason, and I want to end on that because what Jason just said, we want you guys to win. So many of you have reached out and asked us, and we're going to have so many other influencers. We call them Shredfluencers. And if you join us, that's what you're going to become as well. Our mastermind, you're going to be
getting messages right now saying I want to go elite. So that's kind of
I say. So guys, we're excited to be announcing this. This is just the first announcement. We were going to try to release it last weekend, but we had so many things going on that this is our official announcement today. So share this. Like it. If you're joining us live, make sure you comment #Shred. If you want to join us in the elite, make sure you comment #elite below and join the community, community.shredmedia.com. And if you're already part of the community, you already know the value that we put in the community. So guys, there's a lot more to come. We want to see you win. We want to see all of the local mortgage, real estate, insurance, entrepreneurs, everybody locally. We want to see you guys dominate the space. So with that, we appreciate you. We love you. Make sure you show up, you hustle.
Repeat every day.
See you guys.